Hi, my name's Dave Webb from Venture Caravans, and I'm going to show you how to set up and use your Adria Adora caravan. First of all, when we arrive on site, you'll have taken it off the car, and of course you make sure you've put your handbrake on. You then need to level your caravan out and put the legs down. To wind the legs down, you use the handle for the front and back corner steadies, and you just wind them up and down like so. In the front locker here, we have your storage for your gas bottle, which you need to turn on, and you just undo the yellow lever at the top there, or tap at the top there, and that allows the gas to come through to the regulator, then through to the rest of the caravan. Just to point out, you have your spare wheel here, and you have your holder for your winding handle at the top here. Then as we go around the side of the caravan here, I'll show you how to set up the water and to plug in your electrics. So here you have your electrics box. This is where you put your battery, which is already fitted, and this is where you plug in your mains. First of all, you plug into the caravan before you plug into the caravan site. So you do this part first, and you literally just push it onto the connection there. Then we need to connect the water. You have your water pump here. You drop that into your container, making sure that it is not going to curl up and stick out of the water, and then you just click it into place. To release it, you press the trigger and just pull it out. Pop that over just to seal it in position. The next thing you have is your water heater flue. So this is where the water heater, the heat comes out of the water heater. And if you're using it on gas, you must take this off. So you just literally take that off by pulling it at the bottom there. To put it back on, you just push it and click it in. So we'll just take that off and remove it, and we're ready to use the water heater on gas. Further along, we have your fridge vents. They allow the hot air to escape out of the back of the fridge. You've got one at the top because this is a big fridge, and one at the bottom here. You've also got, underneath the caravan here, your wastewater outlets. So the waters from the sink and shower will exit through these two areas here. You attach two pieces of pipe, and then to your wastewater container, which would be stored outside. And then further at the back, we have your cassette toilet. There's two parts to the cassette toilet. You have your flush tank, which is located at the top here, and you pour your water into there, and your pink chemical, which is like a perfumed rinse, which will just make the toilet smell nicer, and it will sanitize the bowl when you flush. You just pour the water in there. There's no level indicator, so you just pour it until it comes up to the top. However, you shouldn't travel with that over half full, and I'll show you how to drain that down in a second. Once you put the water in, you can just lock it up, and then we'll go down to the cassette toilet. At the top, there is a pipe that's on a little ledge, and you just literally, I'll show you again, take that off from there, and that's how you drain down your flush tank. So you pull this out here, the water will just pour out onto the floor. You could pour it back into a container if you wanted to store it for your next journey. Now we need to take the cassette out. To do this, we lift at the orange handle and pull it out. This orange handle also doubles up as a handle to wheel it around on, so you can wheel it off to the emptying point. When emptying it, you have to turn this round, unscrew this cap, press this orange button here, and then tip away. The orange button is just to allow the air to go in so it pours out better. Now, once it's empty, you need to reprime it for use. You put a cap full of chemical, it's got a measuring facility on the side of that, tip it into the top, add about a litre of water as well, which will line the bottom of the cassette, and then slide it back into place until it just sits over this ledge here. Once that's in, that's it already. And we can lock that door. And now I'm going to take you around to the other side of the caravan and show you the features there. So on this side, there's just a couple of items. You have your gas barbecue point. You get a bayonet fitting which slots into there, and then when you turn the gas on, it will come through. So obviously you need to attach that bayonet fitting to a gas barbecue or another gas appliance before you turn the tap on. Here we also have a little external locker. It has a little mains socket at the back there, so that you can plug something in the awning side to use maybe another fridge, a light or something like that. Just to point out that this one's obviously got the Power Touch Evolution mover on it, but we'll show that separately. And then we're going to go to the inside of the caravan and show you the features there. So now we've come to the inside of the caravan and we can turn on the 12-volt master switch, which is located just by the door here. Here you can see it says master underneath. We just switch that switch on, and above you'll see your volt reading, which is reading just over 13 volts. When you're plugged into mains, it will usually read at just over 13 volts, but when you're just on battery, it'll be slightly lower, just probably about 12.7 volts. Now we can turn on the main light switch. This will turn the lights on for the whole of the caravan. They individually switch as well, so you don't have to have them all on. Now I need to come to the water heater and to also all the taps, because we need to make sure that all the taps are closed before we turn the water pump switch on, which is this switch here. So we go over to the taps, make sure that they're all closed. I've already checked in the shower and in the bathroom taps and they are closed. And we come to this lever down here. It's this yellow one. When it's in the vertical position, that's the drain down position. When it's horizontal, that's the closed and ready to use position. So now it's in the closed and ready to use position, we can come back up here and we can turn the water pump on. Immediately you'll see the red light come on, and we can now open up the taps and start the water coming through. We turn it on the hot tap, and it will take quite a few seconds for it to come through with a constant stream. As you can see, it's spluttering away, it's pushing all the air through the system, and because the onboard water heater tank is 10 litres, has to put that 10 litres of air through the system. When it comes through constantly, you know that the heating tank is full. While it's doing that, I'm going to get some of the gas through. We've turned the bottle on in the gas locker, and now I'm going to ignite some gas on the hob, purely because it's the easiest place to see it lit. Sometimes you will light a burner and then it will blow out because there's air in the system, especially when you put a new gas bottle on. Once it's blown out, you light it again and that automatically primes it, and you're ready to use any of the appliances on gas now. So carrying on with the cooker, you have a grill and oven. The grill is the left hand button here, or switch here. Turn it to the main gas symbol and ignite. Make sure it's lit on both sides, hold it down for a few seconds and then release. And that's it lit. I can now hear that the water has come through and is primed, so I can now turn it to the cold and get that to come through as well. Now we're primed with all the water system. Sorry to jump about a bit, but now we're going to come back to the heat, to the oven, and that has a switch at the top on the right. We turn it round to the maximum, push in, ignite, and then you see the flame at the back of the oven. Hold it down for a few seconds again, and then release. And as long as it stays lit, that's it all working, and then you can adjust the temperature and turn it off. Up here to the right of the sink we have your fridge. It's a large fridge freezer. The freezer compartment is at the top there, and the controls for the fridge are up here. You can tell the fridge is on or off by the little green light there. At the moment it is on. If we want to check what it's on and it's using, we can just press that in and it will give an indication. If you want to change the power source, you press the grey button until things start to flash. And as you can see, it's now selecting the mains symbol. I can then scroll through with these left and right buttons to choose either battery or gas. Battery would only be when you're towing along, it only works off the car. If you're on caravan site, you would use either gas or mains electric. So I'm going to use gas. Now I want to select that, so sorry it took too long. Press that flashing, push across to the gas. I want to select that, so I press the grey button again. It will then go to the temperature control. I want to select power source 3, which is pretty much where you need to keep it all the time. If it's really hot weather, you might want to turn it up to give it more power to cool down. Press that in to acknowledge that, and it says I'm on gas, I'm on power setting 3, and then the screen goes blank again. If you then want to change it back to electric, press and hold in until it flashes, scroll back through to the mains electric, press the grey button, press the grey button again to do the temperature, and it now says I'm on mains and I'm on power 3, and that's your fridge working. If ever there's a fault, and I'll mimic this by putting it onto battery, if you press that in and hold it there, put it on battery, what will happen is everything will flash at you and it will flash a red light here. This is basically saying I've got no power because you're not connected to the car, and that's why it's flashing at me. So let me just put it back onto mains, press the grey button to confirm it, and the power, and away we go. We're using on mains, and that's how the fridge works. Right, now I'm going to show you around underneath this bed. We've already talked about the water heater, which is here, and the drain down valve, which is down here. Also, you have your mover control box, and there's also a solar panel fitted to the Caravan, and this is the control box for that. Behind there you've got a bolt which releases, and you've got your charger that's fitted there, and a bank of 12-volt fuses underneath there, and that just neatly folds out of the way. So now I'm going to show you the heating system. It has a gas and electric heater, and there is blown air distribution to distribute the heat around the Caravan into the different areas like the washroom and at the front in the lounge. First of all, we're going to use it on mains electric. We have this control here. It has an outer circle and an inner circle. We turn the outer circle off the 0 and to either 2000 watts or 500 or 1000 watts. That's dependent on what the site can handle. Obviously, if the more wattage you're using, it puts the site under more pressure. Inside, on this inner circle, is the actual temperature setting. This is the thermostat for the fire. So as long as the green light is on, you're working off mains on the heating, and you have this to adjust the temperature, 9 being the most powerful. Now we go down to the fire itself. On the right hand side of the fire, we have the blown air distribution. So this is how the fan works. On the left hand side, I don't know if you can see it just there, we have different settings, A, 0, M, and a plus sign. The off position is the 0, and then the A is what I call your winter setting. It will only blow out hot air, it will not blow out any cold air. So no matter what you set the speed of the fan to, and incidentally this top bit is for the speed of the fan, it will never blow out until the heat is generated in the fire. Then you have your off position in the middle, and at the bottom you have what I call your summer settings. You have a manual setting. Now you can choose the speed of the fan, and it will automatically blow at that speed. So it doesn't matter whether there's heat there or not to support it. And then the next one down is a full power. So regardless of where you put the speed of the fan, it will always blow out at full power. I call those your summer settings. They're quite useful to just distribute air around the Caravan on a hot day. But when I'm using it in the winter, I always want it on the A, because I don't want it blowing out any cold air whatsoever. Also, over on the left hand side of the fire, you have your gas operation. So the fan works with either the gas or the electric. To light the gas, you just turn it round to number 5, push down. When the clicking has stopped, that means it's lit. Hold it down for a few seconds longer and release. You can usually hear the fire roar into action, and you can also tell whether the fire is lit or not, or whether it's clicking or not. You do have actually a little side glass here that you can see, and if you can get at the right angle, you'll be able to see the flame in there for a double safety check. Inside the wardrobe we have a few more things. Firstly, at the top here you have your aerial fitted. This is an optional extra with the Adria, and this one, you undo the nut here, push it up, You can direct the aerial around and then lock it into place when you've got the signal. And when travelling you must have it pointing backwards and all the way down. You also have a booster at the back here to boost the signal. Down at the bottom of the wardrobe or near it you have your electric trip switches. So if something's not working on electric, this can be the first place to come and check. If you're concerned whether there's no mains coming into the caravan, you can press the test button. If it trips down there, you know that you have got mains coming in. If it doesn't trip down, it means you've got no mains coming into the caravan and it's probably a problem with the site. So over here you have your water heater controls. So we've got the water through to the taps and now we need to actually generate some heat in that boiler. So you have two ways of using it. You can use it again on mains electric. You know which one's the mains electric because it says boiler EL and then it's also in the left hand corner got 230 volts written. Then you've got this rocker switch in the middle and all you have to do is either select the low wattage mode off in the middle or high wattage mode at the bottom. And then 30 minutes later you'll have hot water. If you want to use it on gas you can turn the electric off and go over to the gas. And you've got again two controls. You've got either 70 degrees or 50 degrees depending on which one you want it to be on. All you do is turn that on, it automatically ignites and it will only come on with a light if it fails to light. The light will be red and usually it's because you've got the cover on the outside of the caravan that we showed you earlier. The other reasons could be you've got no gas or no 12 volt to light the gas. And that's how the electric and gas water heating works. So this is your Thetford cassette toilet. It can swivel round to make it into a usable position. You lift the lid up there and at the back here you have a blue switch which is for flushing the loo. I don't know if you can see the water coming through there. Now when you want to drain that down into the cassette you have a grey lever just underneath the toilet. You push it towards the back of the caravan and that releases the water into the cassette below. I will just show you your tap in the washroom area here. So again you should prime the water, make sure that's coming through as it should be. We've primed it in the front but there may still be some air in the system in this part of the pipe work, so get that through as well. This one features just a push down plug and then push it again to release and drain away. You also have your shower here too. With the shower lever it doesn't pull out, you just lift it up and it goes from cold to hot. I won't demonstrate that one if you don't mind, I don't want to get wet now. We're now going to make the bed in the caravan. This is quite simply done by pulling these centre pieces out and joining them in the middle. If I move out the way. Then quite often people will just put the backrests into the centre, and although this can make the bed, you can often find it can be a bit lumpy because of these knee rolls here. So the better option is to turn the cushions over on both sides, dropping the backrests into the centre, and this will make a flatter and better bed. Once I've got all the cushions pushed into place. And for a comfortable night's sleep, there you go. Right, now we're going to go through how you would close down the caravan and get it ready to go. The first thing you would do is come up to the control panel here and you would turn off your water pump, which is there, and you would also turn off your master switch and probably your light switch as well. However, to help with the video I'm not going to turn the lights off because it will make it difficult to see. So we're going to do that and then I'm going to come down here and come to this yellow drain down valve again and I'm going to open that up. Obviously you don't want any stored water inside the caravan, especially if there is any frost. Obviously it could damage pipe work and appliances. Then you want to come to the tap, find its middle position and open it up. This will allow the air to come in and the drain down process to be a lot better. Right, now I'm going to show you how you get your caravan ready for leaving and for getting it hooked up to your car. First of all, we need to put the water heater flue cover on. So you take your water heater flue cover, click it on the top and then click at the bottom to make sure it's secured and in place. Then we need to take the mains lead out, lift the flap up, pull the mains lead out, roll it up, perhaps store it in the locker or in the front of the caravan. Lock this door, then take the water pump out, unclip that as a trigger release, close the little door, and the best place probably to store this is in your sink. That way if any water escapes out of it, it'll just go down the plug hole. Then we're going to come round to the gas locker. We need to turn the gas off. So before travelling, always turn the gas supply off. So we're just going to screw that down and close that up. We need to lock the front gas locker cupboard. So close that, key in, lock, and then push in to secure. Then we need to go around the caravan, checking all the windows are all closed, checking all the locker cupboards are closed, and make sure that the door is closed, and putting the step away. Now we're almost ready to leave. The last thing we need to do is wind up the legs. I won't bore you with showing you around how you actually do that. We've already talked about it earlier, but obviously make sure all 4 legs are up and ready to go. And then you're ready to go on the travels. I hope you enjoyed watching the video and it's made sense. Please watch another video some other point.